Today we're going to get into something that, well, it might just explain one of the most frustrating things that can happen to any of us. I'm talking about those arguments where someone is just so sure they're right, even when everything is pointing in the other direction.
Okay, so picture this. I bet you've been there, right? You're in this conversation, and it is just maddening. The person you're talking to, they just can't see that they're wrong. But man, are they confident about it. You're laying out facts, you're using logic, you're showing them evidence, and it's like you're talking to a brick wall. Nothing gets through.
And you walk away from that, what just happened? You feel confused, maybe a little angry. Well, the source material we're digging into today says this isn't just, some random stubborn person. Nope, there's actually a specific psychological thing going on here.
And that brings us right to the name of the game here. It's this psychological term that really gets to the heart of that frustrating gap, right? The gap between how confident someone is and how competent they actually are.
So, what is it? It's called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. And the core idea is pretty wild when you think about it. Basically, for a lot of things in life, the skills you need to be good at that thing are the very same skills you need to judge how good you are. So, what happens if you don't have those skills? Well, you're not just bad at the task, you're literally unable to see that you're bad at it.
And this creates this incredible paradox, right? The very thing you don't know is what's stopping you from realizing you don't know it. It's a total catch-22. Or to put it simply, just like our source material does, they're just too unskilled to even know that they're unskilled. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this actually look in the real world, like in our day-to-day conversations? Well, the source we're analyzing points to 5 telltale signs. Let's dive in and break them down. But first, before we jump into the 5 signs, the source sets up this really important contrast. It's like 2 sides of a coin. On one side, you've got intellectual humility. That's being open, knowing that you don't know everything. And on the other side, cognitive rigidity. This is that closed-off defensive mindset. And this battle between humility and rigidity, well, that's really the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. So here they are, the 5 big signs that our source points to. We're talking about everything from that crazy high confidence and totally resisting new ideas, all the way to how someone places blame or what they think about experts. Let's really get into a few of these. All right, the first one is a biggie. According to the source, it's the most critical sign, and it's called cognitive rigidity. And that term is key. This isn't just someone being stubborn, It's a deeper, almost fundamental inability to take in new information. It's like their mind has a firewall up, and anything that challenges what they already believe just gets blocked instantly. Okay, another huge sign is something psychologists call an external locus of control. Fancy term, simple idea. It basically means someone always blames outside forces for their problems. Always. As you can see in this quote, it's never my fault. It's always society or my boss or the system. The responsibility is always pushed onto someone or something else. And you can see how all these signs kind of lock a person into this vicious cycle, right? They think they're way better than they are, so they completely dismiss people who actually know what they're talking about. And because they do that, they never get a chance to see their own mistakes. It's this perfect, closed loop where learning just can't happen. Why would it? They're already convinced they know it all. So, what are we supposed to do with all this? What's the main takeaway? Well, the source suggests that this isn't just some interesting theory for an armchair psychologist. It's actually meant to be a practical tool, something you can use to navigate your own life.
Yeah, the source actually calls this knowledge a kind of mental hack. And the idea is that if you can learn to spot this pattern of behavior in people, you can save yourself a ton of time and energy. You can stop getting sucked into those arguments that are just completely pointless.
So here's the game plan the source lays out. Step 1, identify the pattern. See what's happening. And once you do, step 2 is simple. Disengage. Just walk away. You have to understand that all your logical, well-thought-out points are probably just hitting that brick wall we talked about. The real goal here is to protect your own sanity, your own energy, and save it for conversations that can actually go somewhere.
But this leads us to the trickiest and maybe the most important question of all. It's really easy to hear all this and think about it as a way to spot flaws in other people. But the real power of understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect is when you turn it on yourself, like a mirror. It's a huge reminder to stay humble, to question what you think you know for sure. Because think about it, if the whole point of this effect is that you can't see your own blind spots, then how can you ever be 100% sure that you're not the one who's overconfident?